Hey everyone, it's Unyshek here, and I'm going to get straight into the commentary. This is obviously part of Unyshek's Summer Spree, where I try and bring you a Halo video every single day, but there's a lot of content to cover today because I'm going to break down every single spawn point on every single map so you can win all the free-for-alls that you play in the Halo 4 Global Championship. Right now I'm just starting off by showing you that I can manipulate the spawns on Abandon by being in the most popular spot with the most spawns, and that allows me to get a 9-0 lead right off the start, all part of a nice killpocalypse before I get taken out, before I can get the Killionaire. But we are now moving on to Abandon's actual spawns. This is going to be absolutely huge. Obviously from that video you see you're going to want to be on the beach, and here's why. There's one spawn point right there. You saw a couple people spawn there on the very tree corner, and there are so many spawn points on the beach that it is insane to go anywhere else. It literally would make no sense for you to push towards the back gold area or even venture away from the beach. As soon as you spawn anywhere else, make your way to beach, because if you notice, I can see right here, hide behind the boxes, cut off my line of sight, and that will increase the probability of someone spawning on the rest of beach. And then sometimes I'll run around the tree like I just did with the camera, and I can see all those spawns when people will spawn there. And then another great location, vantage point, is actually on the tree corner, where you can sit there and monitor the rest of them. And because of those little lumps and tree roots, it covers the spawn points, so they will be more likely to spawn there, because you can't actually see the spawn point, but you can monitor that entire area. As soon as they take one step forward, they're done, they're in your view, and you can completely destroy them. And this is very useful for SWAT, because getting them jump on someone right as they respawn is very critical. This is a common respawn point that I get in this cave, so I just hop up and check down the gold, and then I sprint down the magic trees and push towards the ridge if I get that spawn. If I spawn anywhere on this side of the map, I'm going to push through the cave and try and make my way to the beach trees, or I call it Blue Cave. And this is a very common spot. You see 4 respawn points right there. That is one of the most common spawns on the map when someone dies. Then you're going to see me push this way down the cave. This is also another common spot. You saw me kill a guy here for like my Killtastrophe. It's absolutely huge to make sure you check your left if you're in this position. You kill a couple people on beach, check to your left. Kill a couple people on beach, check to your left. No one's going to really spawn in the center because someone is always looking there. Looking at a spawn point prevents the probability of people spawning there. So right in the center there's a lot of spawn points, but no one's really going to spawn in the center simply because there's so much activity in the center. People are always there fighting, looking there, running away, trying to stay alive in the center. So because it's such a high traffic area, no one really spawns there. There's a couple spawns down here. Again, no one really spawns down here because it's so out in the open. The number one rule to abandon SWAT or any free-for-all in the Global Championship is to be on beach. Now we're moving on to a drift. Well, I'm only going to break down one half for you guys because it's a symmetrical map. Right now there is a spawn towards the back right here, a couple in the general region up there, one down the hallway on the right, and then quite a few down this little skinny tunnel, as I call it. And this area right there is called the first. This is obviously skinny tunnel. This is called the second door, and then this is called like the sniper. A lot of people waited by the sniper, and that's not that good of an idea, because look how many spawn points there are. If you're there, you're blocking all those potential spawns. What you're going to want to do is wait here at the second, which is what I was doing in most of my regular free-for-all matches, or wait at the first, and you can get all the people who spawn in the base right here. Anyone who spawns in attic potentially. Actually no, those are all initial spawn points, so it's only going to be people who spawn in the actual base and people who spawn down sniper. But there are so many spawn points down there, each of those areas, that you're constantly going to be fighting someone. And then of course you can look across to the other hallways and try and pick someone off who's busy fighting down their skinny hallway. There's so much to do on this map, and there's a decent amount of cover. Another tip on this map is to jump around whenever you go through a corridor or through a doorway. Make sure you go through jumping and ready to fire, because if you're not ready to fire in SWAT, you're going to be taken out. If you're not ready and jumping, if you jump, they're going to have to raise their aimer and they're probably going to miss their first shot. But if you jump around the corner ready to fire, then you know where their head is probably going to be, just like guesstimate, and you'll have that slight advantage on them. Even if they're host, you should be able to take them out first, simply because you're more prepared than them. They're not going to expect someone to be jumping out through there. And once again, I do another fly through. There's so many spawn points on the sniper and a couple down low, and sometimes people come all the way up here and look down this skinny hallway. It is so big to be in the skinny hallway, I can't even begin to describe how important this is. I like the first doorway right there, but a lot of people choose the second, and I've seen quite a few people actually camp in the back of the base. But anyways, that's a drift for you guys. The next map is going to be... what is the next map? I can't tell you what the next map is. Haven. This map is absolutely insane. There's no legitimate strategy really besides holding the closed ramp or the open ramp or being in top middle like a madman. There are so many spawns on each side ramp, and once again I'm only going to break down each side because it's a symmetrical map. There are no spawns top middle, and there's 2 spawns on the wings of the open ramp. There is 1 on each side, so I'm going to teach you how to manipulate that spawn, because having a spawn down there is absolutely crazy. And then there's a few down low underneath the ramp, but those aren't as popular as the ones right here on the wing. And I should go top middle and show you how to manipulate the spawn. If you're on this blue plat and you're looking down that way, he's going to spawn in that corner, where furthest away from you, where you're not looking. If you're on this one, they're going to be spawning on the blue wing right there in the corner, because they're furthest away from you and where you're least likely to look, and they're going to spawn right behind you looking at you, so you got to be ready to look at them. Now on the bottom red street, you're going to see the 1 initial spawn there, and then there's 2 respawn points in that cubby, another one to the side. So if you're holding closed ramp, what you're going to want to do is be aware of people spawning behind you if you push on the top mohawk, and then be able to look down the street, the top street and the bottom street, because there's a couple spawns on top street but not nearly as many on bottom street. So I try and stay back on closed ramp and prevent those spawns there, and make sure the people on each side on top street and bottom street try and push me in order to get as many kills as possible as fast as possible, because as many of you guys know, SWAT is such a fast game type that it is absolutely insane, and it can go any direction. It can be anyone's game, and you just need to know the spawn points and where to hold. So that's Haven for you guys. I hope that was a good breakdown. It was kind of quick. And the last map is Solace. Solace is the most broken map, especially for SWAT, but it's all about map control and positioning on Solace. This is about spawn killing, actually. It is absolutely broken in my opinion, but we're going to just dive into the spawn points. Look how many spawn points are on each end. There's like 6 of them right here. There's a bunch more leading up to the center part of each side, and right there you see another bunch of spawns. Only a few like respawn points, but a bunch of initial spawn points, and then again a bunch of actual respawn points on this end. So because the center is kind of less frequent but the other end is more frequent and more populated with respawn points, you can expect people to be spawning across from you. The most common strategy on Solace is to wait down on one end of the sides and just stare down with a light rifle or a DMR. It is absolutely broken. Occasionally you'll get some people spawning in the base that'll push to the side because you just killed them on the side, but normally they're not going to be looking for you on the side. You're going to just be killing a few people and catch them off their respawn. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I can't believe it's an actual strategy, but I ended up losing a few matches because some people knew how to do this beforehand. And see, there's 2 spawns here. If you're on this end, you can just stare down that way, and because you're standing on those spawn points, it completely blocks those spawns. Then you'll get a couple people up here, but not really, because some people are usually running around in the center and blocking those spawns, and it's going to force them to spawn in the very corner. So there's not that many spawn points in the actual base that will affect you, because if you're on the very corner, it's going to try and not spawn someone near you. So you're pretty safe if you're in the corner, and you can just stare down the side. I can't say it enough, you just stare down the side and completely destroy, because there's so many spawn points down there, and if you use a distance rifle, like the light rifle or marksman rifle, the DMR, then you will absolutely win every match on Solace. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown, and I will see you tomorrow on Unyshek Summer Spree.